alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Hold everything. Stop the counting. Man, I look good. I'm Preacher Moss. Don't look at me like I'm the only Muslim that uses a salam to get people to shut up. I'm announcing the first annual Preacher Moss All Muslim, All DMV New Year's Eve comedy extravaganza kicking off at Cine DC. We're bringing in 2026 with class, laughs, food, and a good mood. It's a first of its kind for Muslims and Muslim families as we have two shows, 7:30 and 9:30, with a countdown following the 9:30 show. We've got the funniest Muslims, no, the funniest comedians in the game coming to Washington, D.C. to help you bring in your 2026. Start the countdown. Stop, it's too early for the New Year's countdown. That countdown is for people to get their tickets. Tickets are limited and we anticipate a sellout. Proceed.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, everybody. I'm Preacher Miles, host of the SOS, the Shout Out Show. Man, we are 5 years and running. Listen, I hope that everybody's having whatever it is that constitutes a productive day, a productive moment, a teachable moment, good decisions, whatever it is that qualifies you having an excellent day. I hope you had that today. Our topic today is laughing to keep from crying. Now, I'm going to bring up some things, but I'm going to put them in story form. And when I say put them in story form, it is sometimes we have narratives that are so strong as the truth, we can't help but laugh at them. I learned this from jazz musicians when I was in my younger days, and it had so much to do with guys who knew what the rules were, knew what good decisions were, but somehow, some way thought that going the opposite direction would yield them a better result. That somehow going the opposite direction, like if you had to go 10 miles this way to get to town, they would go 15 miles that way, thinking, I'm gonna get to town. You're not going to get to town. There is something, as we used to say back in the 5%ers, Allah's mathematics. Listen, you can't change the value of 1 plus 1, nor can you change the value of 0 plus 0. Sometimes you just have to befit yourself. You have to understand that you've got to bow down to the realities that are around you. Now, I want to make a couple announcements really quickly before we get into it. As you guys know, I'm actually in Washington, D.C. Shout out to Chocolate City. We have 2 events going on here in Washington, D.C., and I am very proud of myself and my team. Just the inspiration to do it has come from yourself, our team here at the Shout Out Show, family members, and the like. It is really about, let's go out and own our culture. Let's live our culture out loud, and let's go out and own our culture. Stop asking and waiting for people to somehow recognize you as important or recognize you as valuable, or worse, waiting for people to celebrate you. We're not doing that anymore. And I'm going to go out here in the space and I'm going to step out of my comfort zone, if you will. And we're producing not just one event, but 2 events. The first event is a Black Muslim Singles. I'm going to give you the title. It's Preacher Moss's first annual East Coast Black Muslim Singles Networking and Comedy Gala, to be held at Sweet Tooth Cafe, Restaurant and Cafe in Southeast Washington. We're going to be at 2323 Martin Luther King Avenue, 7 to 10. Get your tickets. Now, here's the thing about this. Last week at Friday Reminder, I mentioned that we're doing this, and I also talked about the reasons that I felt it was important. That, you can't have culture if it doesn't produce. Meaningful culture produces. It produces community. It produces engines of industry. It produces social relevance and platforms for people. And so we're going out and we're realizing that a big engine, particularly of the African American Muslim community, is that we grow our community. Part of growing our community is having marriages, having families, having people in a situation where we generate leaders. We generate leaders, we invigorate leaders. This is the thing that I don't know if a lot of people understand. In fact, I have to go back and reframe itself. Listen, a big part of the success of the African American community was that we grew a community of like minded individuals. So, this is not a thing. It's not a single hookup. Listen, this is a networking event. That's what I call it, networking. Learn to come out, talk to people, speak to folks. If you're there for business, they're there for business. Bring your business cards. We got comedy. We have food being served by Chef Steve Muhammad. It's going to be an electric atmosphere, and I hope that you're going to be able to come. That's number one. Number two, and I'm going to come back to this next week. If you are not able to afford a ticket, I will not turn anybody away because of financial hardship. This is where it becomes a community event. I'm not going to turn you away from because you don't have the funds. Listen, this is a tough time. It's okay. I understand. I've been there. So I sympathize with you. I empathize with you. We want you to come anyway. We're inviting everybody. Okay. And on New Year's, I'm gonna have the first ever Preacher Mars, all DMV, almost all DMV, New Year's Eve comedy extravaganza featuring myself and Yasmin Hardy. I got a special guest for the Black Muslim Singles thing. I'm going to tell you at the end of the show who's going to be. Some time to remind me so I don't forget who that person's going to be. All right. Appreciate it. So, getting to our topic today, talking about laughing to keep from crying. Laughing to keep from crying. All right. Buckle up. Let's get ready. Let's start the show. Thank you for tuning in. Okay. Laughing to keep from crying. Listen, that whole thing of laughing to keep from crying is a Southern notion. This rises up out of the plantations of the South and the moans and the oppression of people on slave ships going all the way back to Africa. This is laughing to keep from crying because you have to be able, in difficult times, to be able to find that little nugget of something to laugh or smile at. Okay? I remember, classic story. I remember I was in South Carolina, not South Carolina, I was in Southern. No, wait a minute. Satan, I can't remember where I was. Let me back up. I was in Northern California. That's where I was. I was in Northern California and I was feeling pretty good because I got myself my first iPhone. I bought it from a pawn shop. I thought I was the man. I had this iPhone, didn't really even know how to use it. Was at this event. It was a fundraiser. I remember it was Cordoba, something, whatever. But I'm sitting at this table with all these scholars and their wives, and I'm the least pious, righteous person there. But I'm sitting around with all these folks, trying to fit in. I'm like, wow, I'm at the big table. Preacher Moss is at the big table with the sheikhs and scholars. It was time for me to do my act. Now, I didn't want to go on stage because the iPhone was really kind of big and bulky. So what I did, and I didn't wear my hat on stage because I had black hair back then and more hair. And I put the phone in my hat because I got a nice look out. Your boy was looking good. I had a nice haircut. I was looking good now. I'm like, I'm gonna go on stage and razzle dazzle them. Went on stage. Before I did, I took the cell phone, put it in my hat, sat it in front of where I was sitting, went on stage. 30 minutes later, came back to the table, got my hat, no cell phone in the hat. Okay, here's a problem. Someone at this table of righteous individuals and this huge gathering of Islamic knowledge, somebody at the table is a thief. I don't care if you went to Al Azhar or Bayan. I don't care how many hijazes you got. Somebody done ripped your boy off. Now, here's the problem. I'm around all these people. See, this is why you need the WD Muhammad community to keep it real for you a little bit. Your boy is hot, but because I'm in this sacred space, I can't really express myself the way I want to. So normally I can't, normally you know how I get down. I'd have cussed out everybody if I ain't get my phone. I just bought the phone. But I was trying to be nice, and these are the words I'm using. This probably raised my blood pressure. I'm lucky I ain't stroke out. In the midst of getting this phone stolen that I just bought, I'm looking around, ain't nobody, people are looking around like, they looking at me like I stole my own phone. All right. Like I'm the least righteous person. Did you steal your own phone? That's the look they gave me. And I can't cuss. Man, I'm gonna tell y'all something. There are profane words for a reason. Once in a while, you're gonna have to let a couple go. I wanted to go, but I can't let them go. And my main man, Imam Zayd, was there with his wife. So I was like, oh man, if he wasn't there, I probably would cuss everybody out. Okay, so I'm sitting around. They're like, what's wrong? I'm like, my phone is gone. I'm saying things like, doggone it, shucks, golly, I just bought that phone. Jiminy Cricket, because you try not to cuss. They literally bring the whole, and I don't want to say wait staff, but all the servers out. Darn near strip search them. There's no phone. Okay. The phone has to be in a room. I was just in front of the stage. Listen to me. In front of the stage. So I'm hot. I'm ready to go off. So they sent Imam Zayd to me because we were like one of the only two black people there. They sent him to me to calm me down. And you know how Imam Zayd talks. They sent him to me. He's like, Preacher Moss. He says, I got two things to tell you about your phone. I got good news and bad news. I said, Sheikh, well, what's the bad news? He goes, your phone is gone. I'm like, Sheikh, what's the good news? He goes, all things come from Allah, all things return to Allah. I'm like, Sheikh, that's dead people. We talking about a phone. But did it make me laugh? Yeah. For about a minute, then I went back to being angry. But it brings into focus the fact that there are a lot of people out here. They don't understand laughter. They don't understand how to release. They panic. They're desperate people. They will steal your phone. They will take your car. They will take your credit card. They will take your identity. Some of them will take your life. So sometimes you have to be the counterbalance in the universe, if you will. For the person that smiles and grits their teeth, you got to laugh. I mean, it's all happened to us. We deal with situations. I'm not the only one. I remember I'm going to tell you a story about a young man. He was the worst thief in the world. And I hope he's watching, thief. This is how bad a thief he was. And I don't know if Satana, do they have a school for thievery? Maybe an internship for robbing people or whatever. But it's not that he robbed from me, he stole from me. It was just the whole idea that he didn't practice, he didn't invest. If you rob from me, I don't expect to find out that you're the person. That's what all I did. So this is, and he was a little off now that I think about Satana. I think he was a little off. But he stole from me and went around and told all our little group after he stole from me, he tells everybody, I don't care what Preacher Mom said, I ain't steal nothing. That's what he does. 10, 15 people. I don't care what Preacher Mom said, I ain't steal nothing. Now, here's the part that's funny. It would have worked if he actually talked to me. If we actually had a conversation about him stealing from me. He literally jumped the gun. Listen to me. He jumped the gun. See, normally you need people to realize that something has been stolen. And then there's a dialogue. But somehow he decided, I'm not even going to have a dialogue, but I'm going to start talking about how I did not steal something. And it was interesting because it took people maybe about 15, 20 minutes to go, he stole. Yeah, he's a thief. And I had to explain to people the logic. When you steal from somebody, the thing is, you don't want to have a conversation until they're ready to have a conversation. The absence in all of these things is the fact that it's timing. Satana, if I steal from you, and I never have, but if I ever steal from you, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to wait for everybody else to talk to you, and you're going to go, I don't know what it is. And then I'm going to slide my conversation in like, I didn't see it. See how this? Anybody who's a thief, let me help you out. Wait for other people to acknowledge a theft. You don't jump the gun talking about a theft that nobody knows about. That's what I'm talking about. Let's get to our chat room real quick. Let's get to our shout out family. And Sister Ree, how you doing? Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Sis, how are you? Hope everything's going well down in Houston. You know, your buddy's showing off up here, but that's all right. She had some salmon cakes for you, boy. Mom's getting better with those salmon cakes. Yes, indeed. Yeah, they were nice and light, you know. I like the heavy ones, like back in 1982. They're making a big black frying pan, but this was good. I felt like I didn't have to check my blood pressure after I was done. All right. Altaf, what's going on, baby? Wa alaikum assalam rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good brother, good to see you, man. I hope you're doing well. Shout out to Altaf out in Toronto. We call him Mr. 6 o'clock, straight up, straight down, our Canadian envoy to the show. My main man, little brother, what's going on, Ak? Shout out, JT. Wa alaikum assalam rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good sir. Good seeing you in the house, man. I saw you called the house, man, but I know you talked to mom, but you know, if you need anything, let me know. We'll catch up after the show. And of course, what's the show without an executive producer? Sister Satana on the wheels of steel, the ones and the twos, Instagram land. Oh, Scotty Bikes, my main man. If you guys saw the videos that we did, those videos were put together by Brother Yusuf. Scotty Bikes out of Houston, my main man. He's in Houston. He's in New York City. Bilal, how you doing, beloved? Wa alaikum assalam rahmatullahi barakatuh. .con, good to see you. Paul Galloway, thank you so much. Shout out Scotty Bikes. Again, wa alaikum assalam rahmatullahi barakatuh, my main man, Bilal. Paul Galloway, salams to you. And of course, well, we got Shabana. How you doing, Sister Shabana? Glad you can make it. Appreciate you. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. There you go, Scotty Bikes, man. Allah keep us away from taking from the believers. Alhamdulillah. And we got Shahid. What's going on, beloved? Good to see you in the building. Okay. I'm bringing you guys these things about laughing to keep from crying, because you're going to have to do a lot more of it in the upcoming months, if you will, and potentially the upcoming years. 2 words, 3 words: Donald Trump and Venezuela. Donald Trump and Venezuela. I gave you guys the format and the rubric of an acceptable robbery. So here's the deal. And we laughed about it last week, but it's real talk. Listen, you can't shoot people and then prosecute them for stealing your bullets. Does that make sense? You can't shoot people and then tell the police he was trying to steal my bullets. That's what Venezuela is. Over 80 people have been killed in Venezuela in these boats. Look, the boat situation is so bad I'm about to put concrete in my tub just so it don't look like anything like a boat. I'm taking showers for the rest of my days. Listen, black folk, stay away from any water fountains, water bottles. Uh, just stay away because they shooting out here. They shooting. Um, but I'm looking at Venezuela and I'm like, we talk about bad robbers and bad thieves. Well, we got them this week. We got them, and they are running the United States of America. And I laugh because it's so blatant that America has been what uh, one conglomerate of thieves that people take and take and take. And then the worst part is when they can't take it, they make up laws that legally allow them to take it. Here's my point, though. On a spiritual note, I am asking people, beginning with myself, when you see these people attempting to do this, laugh out loud. Laugh out loud. It is demeaning to them. It is unsettling to them. But it's what we must do because somewhere, somehow, on the abstract of this whole thing, we know we must learn to celebrate the absurdity that we see. I didn't say respect it. I said celebrate it in your own special way because when you celebrate it, it's not as valuable. This is the thing about when people steal from you, you know, and it has to do with a lot of psychology and things. The big thing about stealing for people is not that they took something from you, right? It's not that they took something from you. It's the fact that they were able to take it without you knowing or take it without you stopping them. That's deep. Without you knowing, without you stopping them. And so we have this going on right now. And I think about this all the time. Like there's a thing. You ever watch World's Dumbest Criminals? Satana, you ever seen World's Dumbest Criminals? Okay. Laugh to keep from crying. So these two criminals had a big bag of marijuana, right? The police were in hot pursuit. They didn't want to get busted with the marijuana because clearly they were going to go do time as a big black trash bag of marijuana. So when they were running through this alley, they decided to get rid of the evidence. So they took the big bag of marijuana and they opened a garbage bin and threw it in there and ran away. They waited for the police to leave the area and then they went back to retrieve their marijuana. But there was a problem. The marijuana had been removed. So basically, the criminals are now out of a big bag of marijuana. And they kept looking around, and they walked into this store. And there was a man at the counter. Old black man was at the counter. And he's like, "Can I help you?" Now, it's two of these guys, but they don't know how to say, "Hey, listen, we threw a bag of marijuana in a dumpster. Would you happen to find a big bag of marijuana? Talk to me." So the old guy, he was OG. He said, "How can I help you?" And they were like, "Yeah, we dropped something in the parking lot." Black guy go, "Old black guy, I ain't see nothing in the parking lot." Look, I ain't see nothing in the parking lot. He goes, "I was out in the parking lot all day today. I was sweeping. I didn't see nothing." The guy goes, "Well, it was near the dumpster." He goes, "I've been around the dumpster. I ain't see nothing in the dumpster." So these guys are getting frustrated. But I don't think they're going to do anything to the OG because he looked like he had a gun as big as me up underneath the counter. So he said, "What y'all looking for?" He goes, "Well, we threw something in the dumpster. Now it's gone. We've been robbed." "Oh, man, so you been robbed?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "Hold on a minute." And he took his phone out and he called the police. And the police came around. And he said, "Officer, These two young men put something in the dumpster and said someone stole out of the dumpster. The officer said to them, he said, was it your dumpster? They go, no. He said, why you throw it in the dumpster? They said, we don't know. See right there? See right there? Satana, why you throwing it in the dumpster? I don't know. See, that's 5 years right there. I don't know in court is 5 years. They said, well, what was it? He said, it was some clothes and stuff. And he said, why are you throwing your clothes in a dumpster? Oh, yeah, I ain't really want them. See, that's another 5 years. See, the cop, that you're up to 10 years now. So the old man is like, I guess he was saying, look, I got to get out of here. He pulls out the bag. And the cop goes, is that the bag you're talking about? One fool goes, no. The other fool goes, yeah, that's it. Now, I didn't see what happened to him, and I'm hoping by the mercy and blessing of Allah, how many years they did in prison, they're finally out now. And they've given up throwing up bags of marijuana in the trash cans. My point is this. You got to keep from lying. You got to laugh to keep from crying. Because the world around you, the world around us, not you or me, but the world around us has this sense of loss. And I said I want to talk about these things in a humorous way, but at a safe distance. And that distance is common sense. Common sense says, this is foolishness at its highest level. Yes, it is. But here's the deal. If we're not recognizing and calling out for what it is, like the old man did, picked up the phone, bought the police, he knew exactly what was going on. I ain't saying he's a street dude, but, he might have been born on a Wednesday, but it wasn't last Wednesday. These guys sat here, much the same as my man that stole from me and somehow preempted everything by telling everybody. I said to him, I stole him. I was like, dude, we never even had that conversation. To that, my brothers and sisters, I say, listen, let's be wary of what we're doing, who we talking to, and at times, yeah, you do gotta laugh. So listen, let me throw this out here really, really quickly. Got an event happening in the Washington, D.C. area. It's going to be in the Dulles area. A friend of mine is doing this event. DMV Muslim singles, not Black Muslim singles. DMV Muslim singles. They have an event on December the 14th in Herndon, Virginia. And for you that know Herndon, that's the Dulles area. At the Hyatt Regency Dulles, 2300 Dulles Corner Boulevard, Herndon, Virginia. Now, for those who know DC, people from Dulles don't come down to DC, and DC don't go up to Dulles. It's too far. But I want to make sure we're supporting Muslim singles across the board. They're supporting our event. We want to support their event. So listen, we're going to get out of here. Satana, let's go ahead and hit them up with the New Year's ad. You guys have been amazing. We'll see you when we see you, inshallah. And remember, if you must have marijuana, please do not put it in a garbage bag and throw it in the dumpster. Chill out. The man ain't coming and this ain't Friday. This is an intervention and call to action for Black Muslim singles. In the name of Black Muslim love, I'm claiming December 27th, the first annual East Coast Black Muslim Singles Networking and Comedy Gala. All roads lead to Washington, D.C., formerly known as the Chocolate City, the gentrification from Shaitan. Anyways, we have what you need for the holiday season. Ho, ho, no. I'm calling out the elite of the elite Black Muslim singles to join us in Washington, D.C. for the first annual East Coast Black Muslim Singles Networking and Comedy Gala held December 27, 2025. Sweet Tooth Restaurant and Cafe, comedy by preaching friends, food by Chef Steve, and the star is you. Get your tickets. Early bird tickets are $75, after December the 9th, $85. Sweet Tooth Restaurant and Cafe, 2323 Martin Luther King Avenue, Washington, D.C. in Southeast, December the 27th, 7th through the 10th. You don't want to miss it.